Those in attendance were treated to the sounds only the LPO can create.
The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor.
And stirring narrative from the voice of the New Orleans Saints and Chief Marketing Officer of New Orleans & Company, Mark Roman. It was a night and event that certainly hit the mark for honoring and celebrating 250 years of America.
The power and emotion that comes along with the Philharmonic Orchestra, with patriotic music of John Philip Sousa and all that, I expect to be filled with the joy and love of our country.
I think the idea that we're 250 years in and we're still creating America, we're still becoming America.
This is such a great opportunity for us to celebrate America's 250th anniversary and for us to come together as a community and as a region to celebrate and just express some patriotism for such a great country that's given so much to so many people. Today we are here at the Louisiana State Capitol showcasing St. Charles Parish at St. Charles Parish Day. I enjoy this event every year. I think this is our 5th year in a row, and I just think it's so important. I love working with the state of Louisiana on a lot of our projects. A lot of our projects wouldn't have been possible without that partnership with the state. So always a great time to be here and to connect with those folks and to share the story of St. Charles Parish and our citizens.
I'm super proud to represent the parish. We've been operating since 2019. It's pretty cool to get asked to do this every year. We got a lot of people that are driving in, people from Baton Rouge, Mandeville. We get people from different countries driving in to get our barbecue, so it's really cool to having people to drive in and also getting some good food.
So many of our projects require partnership with the state. So coming up here every year to network, to build contacts, to push St. Charles Parish forward is incredibly important, especially when they're writing laws and appropriating money throughout the state. I hope the legislators who attend St. Charles Parish Day at the Capitol get a better appreciation for what St. Charles Parish provides to the state of Louisiana and really the United States
And welcome to the St. Charles Parish Council meeting on Monday, August 24th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the council chambers in the parish courthouse. Please silence all electronic devices and remove all hats. This meeting is called to order with a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance by Father Paul Clark with Our Lady of the Holy Rosary Church in Hanville.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. O Holy Ghost, personal love and goodness in the Godhead, Thou breathest upon us in streams the divine goodness through Thy graces and gifts. Eternal thanks be to Thee for the spiritual life Thou givest to us and preservest through the holy sacraments. Although we do not deserve Thy love nor correspond with it, Thou ceasest not to bless and sanctify us. Therefore we thank Thee with the Father and the Son, and today especially for Thy unfathomable mercy, which is above all Thy works. Praise and thanksgiving be to Thee forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father Clark. Approval of minutes, regular meeting, August 10th, 2026. A motion and a second are needed to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 10th, 2026. We have a motion by Mr. Fisher and a second by Mr. Carmadell. Please cast your vote. It passes unanimously. Special business, proclamations, canvass returns, etc. 2026-0238 in recognition. 7 and under All-Star Baseball. 2026 Louisiana USSA State Champions. And Mr. Jewell, can you address this?
Hey, Chairman, Parish of St. Charles, August 24th, 2026 in recognition. Whereas the St. Charles Parish Parks and Recreation Department has long held a prominent place in the state of Louisiana, United States, as an outstanding parish and recreation program. And whereas the St. Charles Parish 7U All-Star Baseball team excelled throughout the 2026 season. And whereas on June 14th, 2026, the St. Charles Parish 7U All-Stars came home Louisiana USSSA champions. And whereas members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the parish president wish to recognize the outstanding performance of the members of the St. Charles Parish 2026 7U All-Star Baseball team and their coaches. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the parish president, do hereby recognize the 2026 St. Charles Parish 7U Baseball All-Star team: Bo Capps, Anderson Carrier, Elijah Dole, Drayson Freelou, Bennett Hayes, Creed Hempstead, Beckham Landry, Reed Landry, Maverick Monson, Tance Pierce, Owen Tare, Tristan Trepanier. Head coach, Richard Dole. Assistant coaches, Sam Carrier, Brighton Trepanier, and Tori Pierce.
Herding cats.
The way the camera can see you real good.
Nothing. I just want to thank the council for having us here to recognize us. And, also want to thank the rec department for making this possible, and of course all the parents of the boys for continued support through sponsorships, fundraising, all that stuff, and super proud of you guys, man. You guys worked hard this season, and it showed. Congrats to you guys. Thank y'all.
Congratulations. Definitely herding cats. Yeah. We may be blessed tonight.
I'm sorry?
I said we may be blessed tonight.
Yeah.
No, we'll see. Unless he comes in later. Evil person. Gotta watch these mics, you know. That's called a hot mic moment. All right. Continuing, 2026-0219, in memoriam, Mr. Raymond Hicks. Mr. Jewell, could you please address?
Thank you, Chairman. The Parish of St. Charles, in memoriam. Whereas on June 2nd, 2026, God, in his almighty infinite wisdom, saw fit to call from amongst us one of his most worthy servants, Raymond Hicks. And whereas Raymond was born to the parents of the late James Hicks Sr., Cora Lee Hicks, and was a resident of Wagaman, Louisiana. He lived a devoted life as a husband, father, grandfather, son, brother, uncle, and a friend. Raymond is survived by his loving wife, Karen Hicks, his children, Casey, Vinny, Devin, and Cornan, and his grandchildren. And whereas Raymond was a hardworking and dependable man who dedicated almost 3 years of his life as an employee of St. Charles Parish. Raymond served as a distribution maintenance tech with the Department of Waterworks. And whereas Raymond was one of the kindest individuals whose warm personality touched everyone he met. He will be remembered for his positive words and gentle smile. And whereas on behalf of all the citizens of St. Charles Parish, the Parish Council, and the Parish President, we proudly, posthumously honor Raymond Hicks for his exceptional service to the parish, and his legacy lives on in the hearts of his wife, children, parents, siblings, nieces, nephews, and all who are blessed to know him. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, duly assembled on this 24th day of August 2026, do hereby express our sincere sympathy to the family of Raymond Hicks, December 21st, 1965 to June 2nd, 2026. Be it further resolved that a page in the official minute book of this St. Charles Parish Council meeting be set aside to record this memoriam, and when this meeting is adjourned, it shall be done in memory of Raymond Hicks. May he rest in peace. Here to accept is his wife, Karen Hicks. We'll get that to him.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Item 2026-0255, in recognition, Luling Volunteer Fire Department, 60 years of service. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Parish of St. Charles, August 24th, 2026, in recognition. Whereas Luling Volunteer Fire Department is beginning its 60th year of dedicated service to the citizens of St. Charles Parish. Whereas Luling Volunteer Fire Department started out with a single station, a single engine with an outdoor siren to alert responders, 5 phones ringing, and answered in members' homes, an active ladies' auxiliary to help with fundraising events, and of course the roadway boot shake, a necessity. And whereas present day the department has grown to 4 stations, Station 21 located on Palmallard Road, Station 22 on St. Anthony Street, Station 23, Ellen Street in Ama, and Station 24 on Dufresne's Loop in Luling, a training facility, 5 engines, 1 ladder truck, 3 service rescue units, and has moved into a combination fire department with part-time career and volunteer staffing. And whereas Luling Volunteer Fire Department was the first department in the parish to obtain a Public Protection Class 3 fire rating, which decreased the fire insurance rates for residents and business owners of the district. Members are proactive, not only in providing fire service, but developing emergency medical technicians to respond to medical incidents. They continue to develop their paid staff while working to enhance their volunteer response. And whereas Luling Volunteer Fire Department members spend long hours taking care of the stations, apparatus, equipment, and in training, hours they spend away from their home and families to protect life, property, and the environment in St. Charles Parish. And whereas Luling Volunteer Fire Department continues to enhance the quality of service to residents of St. Charles Parish and live up to the motto, loyal to our duty. We serve our community with pride and dedication. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby offer this recognition and tribute to the Luling Volunteer Fire Department for 60 years of service to St. Charles Parish. And I'd just like to say, as a child, we lived on Apple Court in Luling, and we had a grease fire in the kitchen. And I can remember the Luling Volunteer Fire Department, they were all volunteers back then. They showed up within minutes and were able to put out that fire. And we had minimal damage thanks to their fast response. And it had enough of an impression on me that all these years later it still sticks in my mind. But I just wanted to thank all of the volunteers, and now they have paid staff as well, who have been a part of the Luling Volunteer Fire Department all these years, and for their service to all the community, the Luling, Ama, Boutique community, and others in our parish. So thank you. We have Chief Barry Minnick and several others here to accept.
Parish Council, Parish President, thank you for this recognition. 60 years, it's a long time. Come January, we'll have been in the department for 52 years. And we saw it from that one station where the waterworks on the West Bank is now, on Milling Street, to 4 stations, serving from what we call the big houses east all the way to the Jefferson Parish line, all the way back to Lake Salvador. This is a representation of the men and women that we have in the department. They're all dedicated. They do just beyond words that I can express the work that they put into it to keep the organization running. Not only the volunteers, but the career staff also. They do a tremendous amount of work for us also, and we've gone to 24-hour. Most of the time we're staffed 24 hours a day, usually out of Station 21 on Paul Mallard. But the last 4 or so years, we've invested a lot of money into our assets, upgrading. And our training center is one of the best, if not the best, around. Thanks to Chief Strohmeyer, he's our training chief. We get told all the time, but we have people that come and train us twice a year from all over the country, and they tell us that it's world class, and we want to keep investing into that training because that's what protects us. If you don't have the knowledge and the skills, you don't have the confidence to do what you need to do and stay safe. So we'll continue, I hope, to invest in the training and our people. And thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief Minnick and Ms. Fonseca. Next. Next, 2026-0256, a proclamation, Suicide Prevention Awareness Month and World Suicide Prevention Day. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Proclamation. Whereas September is recognized as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, a time when millions of people around the world join their voices to raise awareness of suicide prevention, treatment, and recovery. And whereas suicidal thoughts, much like mental health conditions, can affect anyone, regardless of age, gender, or background, suicide is often the result of an untreated mental health condition. And whereas the 2024 to 2026 triennial theme of awareness and recognition is changing the narrative on suicide with an associated call to action of Start the Conversation, a campaign which is about transforming how we perceive this complex issue by shifting from a culture of silence and lack of understanding to one of openness, empathy, and support. And whereas changing the narrative requires systemic change with advocating for multi-sectoral policies that prioritize mental health, increase access to care, and provide support for those in need, and investing in research to better understand the complexities of suicide and develop evidence-based interventions. And whereas an increased focus on the issue of suicide can be overwhelmingly for those with a living experience of suicide, overwhelming for those with a living experience of suicide. It is crucial to recognize that World Suicide Prevention Day, September 10th, 2026, as a day dedicated to raising awareness, fostering change, and providing a supportive community and understanding. And whereas we can all benefit from honest conversations about mental health conditions and suicide, because just one conversation can change a life. Now, therefore, be it resolved to be the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President do hereby proclaim September 2026 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and proclaim Wednesday, September 10th, 2026, as World Suicide Prevention Day in St. Charles Parish, and call upon all citizens, community agencies, faith groups, and businesses to coordinate collaborative efforts of community partners in the development and implementation of evidence-based suicide prevention and intervention strategies. And we have Ms. Sarah Lyons here to accept.
Nice to be here, everybody. Thanks for having me. You all know my brave leader over at Creative Family Solutions, Dr. Eric Deschamps, but he couldn't make it tonight, so I'm here to represent Creative Family Solutions. I think the most important thing to say is awareness is the first step, and having programs and availability and people that are moving past the stigma of mental health issues so that we can have conversations. Conversations create safety, and safety is where we heal. And I think that, in a nutshell, is about it. Thanks for having me. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lyon and Ms. Fonseca. Next, we have 2026-0274, Proclamation, Love Our Waterways Month. Whereas the third Saturday of September is International Coastal Cleanup Day, an annual event spearheaded by the Ocean Conservancy in which people worldwide volunteer to help remove litter and debris from coastlines and waterways worldwide. And whereas Keep Louisiana Beautiful has announced September 2026 as Louisiana's first annual Love Our Waterways Month to encourage volunteer participation to help clean up the state's rivers, lakes, bayous, and shorelines. And whereas wetlands and waterways are critical habitats and landscapes that provide flood protection, recreation, and economic opportunities for St. Charles Parish residents, and whereas litter and debris negatively impact our waterways and wetlands, and whereas at their regular meeting on July 14th, the St. Charles Parish Coastal Zone Advisory Committee passed Resolution 2026-1-RES in support of Love Our Waterways Month, and whereas the St. Charles Parish Council wishes to support Love Our Waterways Month and encourage residents to clean up our waterways on September 26th at the Bonnie Carey Spillway in cooperation with Keep Louisiana Beautiful and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the members of the St. Charles Parish Council and the Parish President, do hereby proclaim September 2026 as Love Our Waterways Month in St. Charles Parish and encourage all residents to participate in the local cleanup efforts and to protect our wetlands and waterways and shorelines. And I think we have Mr. Clay Leday to accept. Where is he at?
Good evening. My name is John Rome. I'm the chair of the Coastal Zone Advisory Committee. I'm here to say a few words regarding the proclamation for our committee. As CZAC board members, we're tasked with reviewing, approving, and advocating for and educating the community in regards to coastal matters in St. Charles Parish. As a shameless plug, we meet on the second Tuesday of every month in the council chambers, and the public is welcome to attend those meetings. We appreciate the council, the parish president, and in particular, council chair, Mr. Pillier, who regularly attends our meetings for promoting coastal improvements, waterway cleanup efforts in our community in support of this resolution. We are also working with planning and zoning regarding the cleanup event referenced in the proclamation on September 26th to provide assistance and a presence from our committee at the event. Lastly, we'd like to thank the planning and zoning team, particularly Mr. Clay Leday, for guiding us through the coastal advisory process and for championing this proclamation and resolution. Thanks again and have a good evening.
And thank you, Mr. Rome. And thank you to all of you guys who came with him, Lewis and I don't have every name here, but Clay and what's the lady's name again? Courtney. I see these guys about every week. I mean, every other month, every month that I go to these meetings, and I'm proud that they got a Coastal Zone Advisory Committee that's really functional. I mean, it is doing things, it's handling business, it's good for the parish, and I wish more people would come out and attend these things because they'd learn a lot. Environmental management units are under the process of being revised and hadn't been revised in about 11 years. But I find an interest in all these things. I love the environment. I'm getting too old to do what I used to do, but frankly, I'm going to volunteer to come out there and do the cleanup. So thank you, guys. Reports, finance, and administrative activities. 2026-0275, the Ark of St. Charles. Miss Victoria Bryant.
So good evening, everybody. It's been a minute. Thank you to our parish president and you, the parish council, for being here. But I did want to say this one thing. Tonight, the St. Charles Parish Women's Club is hosting a We've Come a Long Way watch party. So I'm actually missing my modeling debut. I don't know if you all know I was modeling. So I just wanted to throw that out to let them know that I was here while, since I'm not there, I have an excuse to not be there. I'm so excited to have a team of people behind me that will be joining me in this presentation. Glad to be here another year, celebrating what we do at the Ark of St. Charles and appreciating you guys supporting us as well in the community. And so, I don't know, where's Candace? Oh, I think it's right there. Is that where the button is? Oh, right here. Okay. So, we the Ark, that's a quick introduction of, we're going to highlight some of our wins and things that we've been doing over the year, and it's a lot. And again, that's day hab. That's one of the titles of a service that we provide. We're an adult day hab provider, and it's just adults that come to our program for those services. And we're up to providing over 100 individuals coming through our organization, and it's getting pretty wild with transportation and trying to get everybody across the parish every day. And so the day hab, people are seeing the pictures, they're getting to see all the activities that we're participating in, and we're getting a lot of calls. And so day hab is Candace's specialty, so I'm going to allow her to come and speak.
In our day hab program, our guys, they always want to do, I'm sorry, I'm Candace. I work in a vocational department as a vocational supervisor with the day program as well as with our career section. But in our day program, my guys love to do all of the fun stuff. You know, they want to play bingo, they want to dance, they want to eat. But they also see our other guys engaging in career-focused activities, and they want to take part in some of that stuff too. So the fun stuff goes without explanation. We did Thanksgiving dinner with them, 4th of July. They had karaoke, dance contests, all of that wonderful stuff. But we also transitioned them into doing production site activities. So they can learn certain skills even though they may not be able to go into the workforce while they're in the day program. And we do surveys to figure out what their interests are as well as what their skill set is. So some of our guys may do wreath making. Some of our guys are doing woodwork, painting, and different things of that nature. So they're able to be productive even though they may not hold a job like some of our other guys will. They also engage in volunteer activities through community life engagement. And Matt, that is right.
Hello, y'all. I'm Mac Slyman, DSP, or DSW, as some people call it. I was DSP of the Year a year ago, and ARC Dad to my group of individuals. We do some volunteering, as Miss Candace spoke, at Armand Food Pantry in Destrehan, Botanical Gardens in New Orleans, and the ARC GNO of New Orleans. On site, we do some woodworking projects, as Miss Candace just spoke about. We're starting photography, shredding paper, and it's not always business. We do have fun trips, bowling, movies, dances and parties, and parish council meetings.
How y'all doing? Good evening. My name is Jasmine Davis. I'm a program specialist and vocational specialist at the Arc of St. Charles. I mostly deal with individuals for the ICE, for the innovative careers and experiences. Pretty much I go around in the community all over St. Charles Parish, and I work with Dufresne Lumber, Mars Nursery, also Frank's Grocery Store, and also Cherry Lane. And I go around and I create jobs for all the individuals. The individuals do job shadowing. They also participate in numerous clusters of various community partners to gain job experiences. That could be from stocking products, to learning how to bag groceries, count money, meeting the customers, greeting the customers, and they also enroll in GED programs also. When we go to RPCC, like we have one of our volunteers right there, Mr. Malcolm. He goes there and he's in college right now, so he's creating the atmosphere for him. They also do online partnering, and we also do shredding, where we create jobs also for the individuals to learn shredding, just to build up their careers in the community, and that's pretty much part of the job that I do there.
I brought the whole crew. So Malcolm is actually in college, so he's not working on a GED, he's working on a degree. And he had some, you know what, well, come on, say a few things.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Malcolm Andrew Moore II. I am currently a student at our local River Parish Community College as a English major for an associate's degree. Thanks to the ARC's assistance, I've been doing the utmost best I can with my studies. I have had to pull out of a couple of classes, but I've come back to tackle them once again with a fresh mind and more time on my hands.
Thank you, Malcolm. And so we're excited to give the experience of each individual based upon their own skills. Some are able to do more physical things, some are preparing for college, some is just job readiness, and some is just volunteerism. But every day is a meaningful day for all of our guys. And of course, you all were introduced to our People First Committee. They're still traveling all over the place, doing presentations and meeting. This is time for election, that they'll be electing new officers. So that will be coming up very soon. And we're excited about that. But I'm so excited also to have one of my board members, Mr. Sonny, here with us.
Good evening, Parish President Jewell and members of the council, along with Heather Skeeper, who sits on our board. Come to thank you for supporting our effort to build our capacity for those who are in need in our parish, and that's the reason for the ARC. And so I'd like to thank you guys for your support. And as we grow our business, we'll grow that for the citizens of this parish. So thank you very much.
So I'd like one last statement to say, I don't know if the parish know the impact that they made when they voted to approve us for the millage that we receive. We're only able to do this because of that. And we depended upon the dollars that we receive, we would not be providing any of these services. We would pick them up, bring them to our site and leave, but it helps cover all of the additional costs. With that being said, I'm excited about tomorrow is all the bidders are gonna come because we're getting ready to knock those old buildings down and build up a new face of a place that our guys can be proud of. They deserve something better, and they deserve to be in a setting that is conducive to growth and to make them feel very proud. So we have about 12 people that qualified, and tomorrow is the day that they submit their bids, and hopefully soon we'll be here talking about the new construction going on at the Ark of St. Charles. But it wouldn't be possible without all of you and in our residents of this parish. So thank you. I don't know if you have any questions for me. All right, we must have been good. All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Bryant, and to all your staff and your interest in your help with the community. Next, we have 2026-0276, Department of Waterworks report by Mr. Gordon.
Good evening, members of the council. Parish President Jewell, Greg Gordon, Director of Waterworks. I just thought I'd give you just a little brief update about what the department's been working on over the course of the last year. The first thing that we have is our water system model. This is something that we've been working on for about a year and a half. It's nearing completion. At this point, we've collected GIS, billing, production, SCADA, and asset data. We've developed a system demand estimates from billing and production records, and we built a working preliminary hydraulic model. In progress is comparing the model results to our SCADA and historical fire flow data, refining pump, tank pressure, and fire flow behavior, and identifying data gaps needed for calibration. Upcoming is the field testing and pressure recorder data collection, final calibration and model documentation, and then the model handoff and the focus staff training. Why the field data matters, why we're doing some more field calibration. While the model is running and producing reasonable system results, additional data will enable adjustments to improve system flows and pressures. Additional field pressure and fire flow data will improve model resolution and confidence in results. Testing will help confirm neighborhood level pressure and fire flow capacity, and better calibration supports planning operations and future PIL related reviews. This has been a big issue throughout the parish over the course of the last few years. Modeling some key insights from the model. The model will provide a comprehensive understanding of the water demands associated with major industrial and commercial developments. This has been a big one over the course of the last 2 years. Effects on system demand, pressure, and fire flow capacity. the existing finished water distribution system, and the current water demand levels across the system. As part of this, we've noticed a number of items that have come up with part of the work. One is the improved baseline data. The new direct water meters and detailed billing records provide model developers with a reliable current demand inputs. And we've had one of the better outcomes of this is that we've found a data consistency. The customer billing records align with monthly operating reports, confirming consistency between finished water production and system consumption. Basically meaning the amount of water that's been going out of the plant and the amount that we bill for is very, very, very close. We used to have basically a water loss of somewhere about 10 to 15%. We're down to 2 or 3% now. And all the smart meters that we put in have really made all this happen because we have much better recording of data and billing consistency across the system. Now we have been doing some maintenance items. This next slide is a bit of a video that the Public Information Office took together. It's only about 1 minute. It has no sound. Sorry, we kind of mucked around with it before. But it kind of gives you an idea of what it takes to replace some of the filter media. Thought it'd be a good thing just to kind of shake things up and show you. When I go to that, it should start, hopefully. I don't know. Oh, there we go. So this took place at the West Bank plant with the Waterworks department. We were changing the sand filters, which is obviously a major part of the treatment production process. It's a lot of hard work. We also did this on the East Bank with D filter, some similar work. I can hear some of the music now. Thank you, Miss Michelle. That was a great job by the Public Information Office. Thank them again. Oops, I did not mean to do that. One of the big things about that video, I just want to let everybody know, to show everybody, members of the council, members of the public watching this, and our customers, obviously, that we put a lot of their rate funds to good use to do important maintenance to the plant in order to improve treatment efficiency, but also to keep the assets of the department and the water system up to date. So right now, West Bank D filter, West Bank D plant clarifier upgrade. This is another major project. It's a $2.7 million contract award to Pintail Contracting Services. The project includes removal and replacement of the water treatment plant's existing rectangular solids contact clarifier and softener. Internal clarifier components will be upgraded from painted black iron to stainless steel, reducing long-term maintenance requirements and costs. Fabrication is currently underway. Delivery is scheduled for October of this year, and following the delivery, the contract will have 180 days to complete the installation. One of the other things, West Bank E plant design. I'm sure as many of you will recall, it's a $4 million design. It's a $4 million design process over 3 years. The parish did get a $3 million capital outlay award due to the efforts of our state legislators and the parish president. As of this year, the 2026, the conceptual phase completion, and we're going to start preliminary design. Next year in 2027, we'll complete preliminary design, and in 2028, final design will be completed. To date, we've done a site survey. This is a big, I'm glad this is, if anything happens, that was a big thing to get done. We did not really have a very comprehensive survey of the West Bank plant, where all the lines went, where all the distribution was going out. We knew where it was, but if you looked at it, it was not really combined into one big survey because of all the different years that the plants were put together. The space usage program is in process. and the electrical design has been initiated. Some of the key drivers for the e-plant design. The primary drivers for the design initiative to address the existing operational and facility constraints. One is the motor control panels currently share space with control room and laboratory functions. Chemical handling, control room, and laboratory functions occupy a common area, and there's no dedicated bunk room available for staff pre-positioning during emergencies or severe weather events. Obviously, the West Bank plant is a combination of 4 different plants built over a number of years. The A plant is 1958, B plant 1964, C 1972, and D 1984. So obviously the West Bank infrastructure is getting quite dated, and plans for the future need to be completed. One of the things that we talked about last year was the call center that we initiated. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of take all this data. We have about a good year's worth of data here and talk about the number of calls that we handle on a daily basis and our answer rate. So as of the date between May 2025 and April of this year, we received 27,143 calls that were handled at a 99.4% answer rate and at a 97% service level. So one of the better numbers to look at is we receive about 105 calls a day. It takes about 16 seconds for the staff to answer the phone calls. Some of the takeaways is that between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. is the strongest individual call volume hours. About 64% of the annual call volume occurred during 4 hours, basically 9 to 1. Lunch coverage matters, so as many of you all know, the department is closed from 11 to 12. Sometimes that doesn't make the customers very happy, but we all take it off at one time, and we're very strict about that. So the lunch coverage matters. The noon to 2 p.m. window carried nearly 1/3 of the yearly demand. And the most challenging service month was June 2025. So, and then we also kind of gave you our peak call volume windows, just to give you an idea of all the calls when they take place. Just thought that now that we've spent a lot of time and effort tracking this, I think it goes to show the customers that we are handling the calls that are coming in. We're handling them on a timely basis, and the staff is very diligent about it. Lastly, we are instituting some billing and accounting process improvements. We have a new staff member, Nathan Sheffield, who works on our accounting side of things. He has streamlined daily record keeping for financial transactions, established a secure digital record system on the department's shared drive. So that allows the staff to retrieve documents in seconds, eliminating time-consuming searches through paper files. We lowered printing expenses while reducing paper use and physical storage needs, and we strengthened safeguards against records being lost or damaged during natural disasters or severe storms. And that is it. I am here to answer any questions.
Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Greg, thanks for everything that you and your staff have done to improve things over at Waterworks. I just wanted to recognize the grants office for the capital outlay request, because they have to actually put the application in, and that office is near and dear to my heart. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Carla did a fantastic job of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Mr. Gordon,
yes,
the
sir.
hydraulic modeling, is that done in-house or is that a consultant?
No, that's working with a consultant. Yes.
Who might that be? Never mind.
You're making me think on the spot. It's not. It is. I don't want to say. I almost said Forte and Tablata.
Never mind.
It's not that.
It's not a problem.
It'll hit me in a second. I'm sorry. No, it's not all South. I'm sorry. I'll email it to you.
No problem. Thank you very much for your effort.
Thanks.
Okay. Next we have 2026-0277. That's the parish president's remarks and report. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. First, we'll start with the social media and online presence workshop that we recently held through Economic Development and Tourism by partnering with the Louisiana Small Business Development Center to host a social media online presence workshop. This was it's on Wednesday, August 2026 from 9:30 to 11:30. So it's coming up this Wednesday, 9:30 to 11:30 at the East Regional Library in Destrehan. This workshop is designed to help our local businesses make a strong first impression online and better connect with current and potential customers. The registration information is available online at www.lsbdc.org. And we want our folks to register for that so they can get some extra tools in their toolkit. All right, we have Check the Chip Day. It was recently hosted by the Animal Shelter, giving residents the opportunity to have their pets microchipped for free and make sure that their existing microchip information was up to date. This is especially important during hurricane season when pets can become separated from their families during evacuations or severe weather. The Animal Shelter is happy to report that 40 animals received microchips during the event. Of the pets that were already microchipped, 90% had chips that were properly registered to owners. For those that were not registered, shelter staff was able to help connect the microchip information to the correct owner. Next, Public Works recently demonstrated its new vacuum and culvert clearing truck, giving crews a first-hand look at the equipment and how it will help with drainage maintenance throughout the parish. The new truck features upgraded filtration, increased capacity, and improved components that allow crews to clear debris more efficiently while reducing wear and tear on the equipment. These upgrades will help limit some downtime and repair costs while allowing our crews to spend more time in the field, keeping the parish's drainage system clear and operating properly. Public Works also did a training with Entergy where they did emergency electrical safety to better prepare for the hazards that they encounter following a storm, including downed power lines and electrical currents that can remain active. Training like this is an important part of keeping our crews safe and prepared so that we can respond quickly and effectively when our community needs them most, especially during hurricane season. We want to say thanks to Entergy for putting that on for our crews. Recent improvements to the West Bank treatment pond are helping make our wastewater treatment process more efficient. As part of these upgrades, the treatment pond was reduced from approximately 60 acres to just 7 acres, and it was deepened from 4 feet to 7 feet. Wastewater now passes through improved screening that removes trash before moving through a series of treatment cells where aeration supports the treatment process. These improvements provide wastewater team with a more modern and efficient system while continuing to provide reliable service to our residents. I'll also mention that the oxygen in the water is being continuously monitored, and now those aeration pumps will ramp up or down based on the amount of oxygen needed or not needed in those ponds. So that saves us on electricity and keeps everything stable as possible. It's really a giant chemistry experiment that you're working on when you're treating wastewater. Okay, it's almost that time again for the King Cat Fishing Tournament. It's returning to St. Charles Parish this September, bringing anglers from across the country to our community for one of the premier catfishing tournaments of the year. The tournament will take place September 18th and 19th with anglers competing on Lake DeSalmons and on the Mississippi River as a part of the weekend. The King's Kids Fishing Tournament will be held on September 19th from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Lower Guide Levee in Norco, giving our young anglers a chance to join in the fun. For tournament information and for team registration, visit the King Cat Tournament Trail registration page at kingcat.profishingtournaments.com. We're always really excited for this event, and the King Cat folks are super excited. They say they never catch catfish anywhere else in the country like they do here in St. Charles Parish. St. Charles Parish Parks and Recreation Fall Basketball registration opens on September 1st and runs 18 days and ends on September 19th. The registration fee is $35 per child, with games taking place from November through January. For more information or to register, visit scpparksandrec.com. Chairman, that concludes my report for today.
Mr. Jewell, there's one question about the registration that I went on to the rec site to see about getting some info for the fishing tournament, and it said it was closed. I looked at on Saturday, but Is there now an opportunity to still register?
For King Cat?
I guess, yeah.
You went to the King Cat website, or you went to
I went
our
to rec. I thought I was in the right place, but
I'll get you the information on that, and I'll
Perfect.
make sure we get that out to the public as well.
perfect. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Jewell. Ordinances, resolutions introduced for publication, public hearing. Monday, September 14th, 2026, 6 p.m., Council Chambers, Courthouse in Hahnville. These items, 2026-0278, 0279, 0280, 0281, 0273, 0289, and 0290. Copies have been made and placed in your folders for item 2026-0266. Ordinance is scheduled for public hearing, introduced at a previous meeting. 2026-0254. An ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with Barauka and Benura Engineers and Consultants LLC for the program administration and management services for the St. Charles Parish Residential Mitigation Program in the lump sum of $7,250 per structure. Ms. Chasson.
Hi, yes, good evening. So the residential mitigation program is our program that is the elevations program. It's more commonly known as that, but it's managed through a third-party program manager, and that works with the program manager works with the homeowners and with the contractors to ensure that all the projects are completed according to the federal funding requirements. And the previous contract that we had for the program expired earlier this month. So over the summer, we had advertised a request for proposal, and Barauka Benura Engineers and Consultants is the firm that was selected. So I'd appreciate your support for this contract. I'm awaiting a new funding agreement for 4 more elevations. So we would be issuing them a task order soon after we get that agreement in place. And the $7,250 per structure, I just want to say, is not something that the parish funds. It is something that the grant program funds, and the homeowners also, if they have a cost share. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
File number 2026-0254 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Mr. Jewell?
Thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to say thanks to the grants office for putting this out and keeping this program moving. BBEC has been a very good company to work with. I think they've gotten us to a point where we have more elevations going on than maybe at any time, at least in recent history. So we would appreciate your support in helping us keep that program rolling forward.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. I have to say that I am supportive of this because I've been through the process with BBEC, and they do a wonderful job. So obviously, I'm in support of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no other council discussion, please cast your vote for 2026-0254. It passed unanimously. Next, 2026-0259, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 2, Ordinance 22-1-2, which approved the professional services agreement with EJES Incorporated to perform engineering services for the Kindler and Paul Frederick Roadway and drainage improvements, project number P210704, in the amount not to exceed $95,000, increasing the overall contract amount to $839,851. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is $95,000 for the resident inspection on this project. The engineer has done a good job of getting us the first phase out, which is going to help the drainage in this area, and we would appreciate your support so that we have a resident inspector on site when this starts very shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2026-0259 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
built in Alamo Hornville, and you may have outdone yourselves. This may be the thickest council agenda I've ever seen. It's good. No. Anyway, did I understand that the engineering phase is only completed for phase one? I mean, or we're going to start a project and do phase one of a project. So has the whole engineering been completed? So are we knowing that project phase one is going to work for phase two? Has the engineering been done? You know, this is a project's been a long time coming. We started this in what? Oh, I had the date written down in 2023. So it's been a long time. These people on these streets certainly will welcome some drainage relief. But the question remains, and everybody's reluctant to answer any questions, I understand that. But we have to know, did we do the complete engineering? And we're doing phase one of the drainage. Will it align with the next engineering phase? They have to go hand in hand. And you know, we do these things, it's kind of like the old frog in the boiling water. If you take that frog and you throw him in the boiling water, he's going to jump right out. But if you put him in the water and you slowly turn up the temperature, he's just going to sit in there and until he's well boiled. So let's have all our ducks in a row here. Let's understand what we're doing. Hopefully when I go back and sit down, because you won't answer me now, and so I don't have a rebuttal as to what his statement is going to be. The people need to know, and we're all in favor of drainage. I mean, come on, you know, I belong to the Weather Watchers Club, not to any other club. Weather Watcher. Every time the weather gets bad, I start looking around, wondering if I'm going to flood next. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malamo. Mr. Bingham, could you explain if the engineering covers all phases or just phase one?
This project started as a conceptual design, and then we did amendment number 1, which broke it into 3 phases. This is amendment number 2. Amendment number 1 has design for roadway and drainage improvements for this area. So they are currently working on the roadway design, which will follow this, so that once we finish this drainage, they will get that next. So yes, there are other phases being worked on by the engineer, and that was covered in amendment number 1 for this project.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. All right. Public hearing is still open. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please vote for 2026-0259. And that passes unanimously. Item 2026-0260, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of amendment number 2, ordinance 25-2-13, which approved the professional services agreement with Alpha Testing and Inspection for continued testing and inspection services for capital project testing and inspection project number P250107 in the amount not to exceed $150,000, increasing the overall contract value to $650,000. Mr. Bingham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a task order type contract. We ask for a certain amount of money, and then we do task orders off of that amount for each project that comes up. In conversations, I've been asked what we've done so far. We had 8 task orders in 2025, ranging from a value of $5,000 to $80,000, and that total of those was $282, but we saved about $47,000 on ones that were completed, so we stayed under our $250 for the first year. We added $250,000 for 2026, and we are now running up against that cap. We've had projects like the boat launch or the months project, the 2 months pump station projects, and very large projects that do take a lot of testing. And we've had more than anticipated, and we're trying to up that amount so that we can do the next round, which includes some of the things like the Hanville Library, the Lakewood Pump Station is coming up, and some things like that. So we would appreciate your support for this. It is needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bingham. File number 2026-0260 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Milton Alamo Hornville. And I probably should have saved my bullfrog reference for this one, because that's what we do here. We know these professional service agreements have a limited amount of dollars, so we make sure we don't reach that limit so we can come back later and add some more. But before it's over with, it's a whole lot of dollars. I'm not up here to say that it's not needed, because I don't know. If I knew for sure that it wasn't needed, I'd be saying that, but I don't know that. But it's funny to me anyway, the way we work this out. We put a whole pile of money out there, and we hire somebody to do it. And if we're lucky, they don't spend all the money. Or if we're unlucky, they do spend all the money and they immediately come back and ask for more. And this council's stuck in the spot. You can't say no. The project has to keep going. We have to get it done. So we keep throwing more money, more money, more money. I just don't think this is a wise way of doing it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alamo. 2026-0260 still open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Miles, I can go back, I guess, in previous councils, and we used to see a lot of change orders, a lot of things for, we didn't have testing, we had to go do testing. And I think since we put alpha testing inspections in there, we've been able to reduce a lot of that because they're actually on site doing the things that we asked. I know in the previous term, I know every time you came before us with another change order for a project. Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe some of the things that Alpha has caught and has saved us some money?
So alpha testing does a lot of different things, like on subdivisions. They'll go out and they'll test the roads and some of the other things with the subdivisions, which tells us that the consultant or contractor that built that, the developer, actually did what was required by the parish. On the big pump stations and so forth, they do all the soil testing and everything to give us good information to make sure that we get what we're paying for. So it's not a matter of necessarily always catching things. It's a matter of making sure that the contractor lives up to the standards that we've set in our specifications. And I'd also like to say, we came back, year one was $250,000 for 2025. It was a 2-year contract. That's the time limit on the contract. We came back in 2026 with our money in our new budget. And everyone needs to remember, when we budget these things, we do 2025, that's the money we have in 2025. When we do 2026, it's the money we have in 2026. If I do it all in 2025, I actually have to have the money in the contract in 2025. And this way it allows us, by coming back, to split it between the 2 years in our 2-year budgets.
Thank you, Mr. Bing.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I just want to recap the way we used to do it. We used to have an individual project, and we'd get to a point where we had to pause, come back to the council with a testing contract, get that passed, and then get the testing going on. This allows us to keep these projects moving, which is important. One of the other things I'll say is there probably was a time, I know there was a time, not probably, where we didn't do this type of testing. and we have subdivisions with crumbling panels. We have subdivisions with crumbling curbing, where we didn't go back because we didn't have anybody checking to make sure that the contractor or the developer was doing it right. Developer gets out there with a bad batch of concrete. He doesn't want to send that truck back. He wants to pour it and get the heck out of there. This person makes sure that things like that happen. Or if we're building a pump station, that the foundations that we're pouring are right. Or if we're doing vibration monitoring and other things. So this is the type of work that alpha testing is doing. And by doing essentially a quantities contract, it allows us to keep moving instead of coming back with individual contracts to the parish council. So we appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. I'm supposing that there are some things you might recall that Alpha has caught, and it's required a redo. Maybe something like the boat launch. I heard some rumors about that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we did have a problem out at the boat launch. They poured the concrete. The concrete panels were supposed to be grooved so that you get grip coming out of the bayou with your boat, and they didn't get it grooved fast enough from the concrete setup on them, so they had to fix that. I would also mention, Mr. President Jewell mentioned a lot of things. They also test all the piles underneath, like the pump stations and so forth, and out at the boat launch. And that's something that if your pile is not the right length, they will catch that, and we can adjust before we put a whole bunch of stuff on top of it. We can actually get deeper and make that adjustment ahead of time.
So they supervise the test piles and such?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bingham. All right. If there's no other, let me clear myself off of here. If there's no other council discussion, please cast your vote for 2026-0260. And that passes unanimously. Item 2026-0263, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinance, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 1, in general, Section 2-2, Fees of Copies of Documents. Ms. O'Daniels?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is, I guess it's an amendment to a previous fee schedule. The background on this is the legislature in 2022 allowed for charges and fee schedules for electronic records. The various parishes throughout the state started charging fees for electronic records, and it turned into a patchwork of no uniformity across the state. The administration brought a suggestion to charge for electronic records, and we investigated and talked to everybody involved in the public records process, and also surveyed the other parishes that had looked at this issue, picked the lower end of the charges of what was charged around the state, yet and agreed to go ahead and review this and see if we can get a finer point on it in 9 to 10 months from our legislative hearing on this in November of 2025. The area is still murky, and it's not a linear process when dealing with this, and so if there's going to be a charge, should it be a small charge? Should it be a percentage of the entire IT support that's required in order to allow these documents to be transmitted? It's unclear what it should be. We don't have a precise measurement. And meanwhile, we don't have any guidance from the state legislature. They wrote something very vague. So pending the state legislature clearing this up for us and other parishes, we feel like at this time it's probably a best practice to go back to no charge for electronic records until and unless there's more guidance from the state legislature on what parishes charge for public records. So that is why we're doing this amendment, and I appreciate y'all's support. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Daniels. Item 2026-0263 is open for public hearing. Is there anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item? Please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Milton Alamo Hornville. And I've had discussions about these fees with some council members over the last several months. And I'm glad to see that we want to go back to what we were doing. It's unfortunate, if I'm reading this correct, that our parish president thought it was proper to charge the residents of St. Charles Parish for something that they already paid for in a sense, because the tax-paying residents paid for the paper that the documents are copied on. They paid for the ink that was put on the paper. They paid for the salaries for the people that generated the documents. If you want to charge contractors an outrageous fee for bid procedures, I don't care, because they're just going to pass that on to us anyway. That's how it works. With the residents, taxpayers of St. Charles Parish do not need to be burdened with another cost. And, and I got one comment saying, it's just $5. What you arguing about? Well, yesterday it was $0. $5 is a heck of an increase. So I ask you all to vote for this, put it back like it was, and leave it alone. It worked. And if you want to do something else that's even out of the box, charge the residents a small deposit fee to obtain the records. And then they can walk right across the river road over there and get 50 copies made for nothing. And I'll bring you the documents back and give you my deposit back. But I don't want to pay for something I already paid for. And the State Attorney General, of course, it's just an opinion, it's not the law. State Attorney General says reasonable fees are allowed under the law. That is correct. But it does not include the original cost of generation of the information or the actual value of the information. So what are you charging for? A piece of paper? We already paid for the paper. Taxpayers paid for all that already. Thank you. Please vote for this. Put it back to where the people, and I use it, and I think a lot of other people do too, require information. And I get a lot of assistance from Ms. Impasado. She's very good. Her whole department does a good job. So please put it back where it was. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alamo. 2026-0263 is still open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Well, I will say that I am definitely in favor of this until whatever has to be sorted out, because I was one of the people that co-sponsored this, and I am one of those people that used the public records request portal pretty often, and I tried to tally up the first time this was considered. It would have cost me like $700 for certain documents that I'd requested, so I've got a feeling about that, and I still have the feeling, but this is the electronic records, and so all I can say is I'm in favor of it. If there's no other council discussion, please vote. 2026-0263. And that passed unanimously. All right. 2026-0265, an ordinance approving and authorizing the execution of a professional services agreement with GIS Engineering, LLC, to perform engineering services for the Engineers Canal Pump Station improvements, design refinement, project number P260803, in the not-to-exceed amount of $1,423,978. Mr. Bingham.
I believe Mr. Jewell will handle this.
Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. This item approves a professional services agreement with GIS Engineering for design refinement of the Engineers Canal Pump Station improvements. The purpose of this contract is to take the work that has already been developed, refine the design, identify opportunities for cost efficiencies where appropriate, and ultimately advance the project through its final design and permitting. A significant component of this contract is the permitting. GIS will be responsible for developing the necessary permit drawings, applications, and working through the regulatory process, including the required Section 408 permit from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Our objective is to move this project forward as quickly and efficiently as possible from this point, to get the design and permitting completed, and to put us in a position to bid the new station in spring of 2027. I will also note that this evening, 30% design drawings were delivered by GIS to the parish. This is an important drainage project, and this contract gives us a pathway forward to get it permitted, get it bid, and ultimately get the new station constructed. I would appreciate your support.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Item number 2026-0265 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Bobby Donaldson, 580 West Pine Street, Norco, Louisiana. I'm here to speak not only for myself, but the entire Norco Civic Association and the entire town of Norco. This project is a long time waiting. It's been a long time coming. I sat in one of your chairs up there, so I know exactly what's taking place here. We need this done as soon as possible, and I appreciate you voting yes on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Donaldson. File number 2026-0265 is still open for public hearing. If anybody would like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Milton Alamo Hornville, and I don't live nowhere near Norco, but they need drainage just like everybody else in the parish. That's no doubt. Now, my question is, this amount of money is being funded from what accounts? Is it grants? Is it the general fund? Is it drainage fund? Or is it fund 123? Because if it's 123, there could be a problem, in my opinion. Because if you can remember, and some of y'all can for sure, when in 2015, I think it was, the residents of St. Charles Parish were asked to fund an outer levee protection system. And since then, a lot of work has gone into it. A lot of good things have happened. What I don't want to happen is that we start funding things that are not defined in the outer levee fund. And I've got the original mail-outs that were sent to the residents of St. Charles Parish. In this pump system, even though it needs to be built, I'm not saying don't build it. I'm saying get the funding right. That pump system is not part of the outer levee protection system. Never has been, and I don't think ever will be. Now, before y'all get too excited, like Mr. Pele likes to remind me, and sometimes Mr. Daniels likes to remind me, I'm not an attorney. I probably couldn't play one on TV either, okay? This is my opinions. I've got no legal background to challenge this. I'm just making a general statement. I wish someone else would think about this. And remember, a couple of years back, we had an ordinance, I think it was, where this council was asked to fund 11, 12, or maybe 13 pump stations. And this council would not even talk about it. They tabled it. They did away with it because there was a problem then, and it's a problem now. So think about how we're going to fund this. If it's not funded from 123, I said all this stuff for nothing. If it is, I think we need to start thinking about how we fund things, because we're not done with the outer levee protection. We've still got a lot of levee lifts to go. We still got pump stations that need to be repaired. In fact, there's one coming up soon for the Cousins Canal, I think it is. So there's going to be money to be used out of 123. Use it in the right spot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alamo. File number 2026-0265 is still open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none. Any council discussion? Seeing none, cast your vote for 2026-0265. And that passes unanimously. Next, 2026-0269, an ordinance to levy an assessment on the 2025 ad valorem tax bills of property owners that are delinquent. in paying outstanding invoices for removal of weeds, grass, etc. in accordance with the St. Charles Parish Code, Chapter 16, Article 3, weeds, grass, etc., and to levy an assessment on the ad valorem tax bills of the property owners that are delinquent in paying outstanding charges incurred for the removal of unsafe structures, trash, and debris in accordance with Chapter 16. On this item, the administration has requested file number 2026-0269 to be postponed indefinitely. Do I have a motion? We don't need a motion. Public hearing? Yeah, okay. I'm trying to bypass that. Okay, file number 2026-0269 is open to public hearing. If anybody'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none. You ain't getting up quick enough.
I'm getting old too, you.
I know.
And I have email conversations with Mr. Albert here on problems I see in my neighborhood. So, but I had no idea that it was this bad. This many people can't maintain their property. And I'm curious to know why we want to table this, because it is kind of, what's the right word? I can't think of it. But I've seen these lists before, and some of these people show up year after year after they're chronic problem makers, if you will. So is it to the point where it's cheaper to pay someone the lien to cut your grass and clean up your property than it is to do it yourself? This is a problem, because we ought to be getting better, and it looks like the list is getting longer. Mr. Albert can maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I do know I've seen several names over and over and over, year in and year out. So something's got to happen. Are we not finding them enough? Are we not putting a big enough lien? Or the bigger question, are we actually collecting the liens? Or do they have a chance to appeal their lien, if you will, or their fine, before some board that they don't have to pay? You know, all this is just paper, words on paper, and don't accomplish nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alleman. Item number 2026-026 now still open to public hearing. If anybody'd like to come up and speak, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. All right. A motion and a second is needed to postpone this indefinitely. File number 2026-0269. We have a motion by Mr. Brouillet and seconded by Ms. O'Daniels. Please cast your vote.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm sorry?
I got a point of order. I'd like to make. I'm not sure. I got a notice saying that we're going to postpone 2026.
Till next meeting.
Is that?
They asked to postpone indefinitely this item because they reintroduced an item with a updated report.
Yeah, and one's introduced for next meeting, but that's going to be indefinitely. It's 2026-0278. I knew that was going to cause problems. Okay. So, did we vote yet? No, huh? I guess we'll have to do a, mine's the only one that didn't pop? This must, bad finger here. There it is. Bad finger. And that passes unanimously. It's now postponed indefinitely. Okay, item 2026-0270. An ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Code of Ordinances Appendix A, St. Charles Parish Zoning Ordinance of 1981, Section 3, Definitions, Section 6, Zoning District Criteria and Regulations, and Section 7, Supplemental Use and Performance Regulations, updating definitions, use regulations, and supplemental regulations for uses under C2 and C3 zoning districts. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the set of revisions and updates to the commercial zoning districts and their associated sections within the ordinance, specifically the C2 and C3 zones, are updated to consolidate terminology and categorization. The corresponding sections for definitions and supplemental use regulations are also updated to ensure consistency throughout. The ordinance started as a project assigned to us through the Planning Commission and had several hearings with them, as well as several visits with the Legislative Committee. We appreciate your support, and if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. File number 2026-0270 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote for 2026-0270. See if Badfinger works here again. I hit it twice? Well, it didn't seem to register. And that motion passes unanimously. Okay. Next is 2026-0271, an ordinance to amend the St. Charles Parish Zoning Ordinance of 1981, Section 20, flood damage prevention to reestablish the effective flood insurance study for the Parish of St. Charles and accompanying flood insurance rate maps revised June 16, 1992 for the purpose of determining minimum building elevations for development within Sunset Drainage District and to add 0 feet and AVD 88 as the lowest permitted elevation. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In 2013, the parish voluntarily adopted a higher standard from the 1992 effective FEMA flood maps in order to more accurately reflect the changing data related to flood risk. This was known as the DFIRM, the Digital Flood Insurance Rate Map. Since that time, over 200 variance requests to reduce the DFIRM requirement back down to the 1992 map have been processed, heard, and approved. All but 6 of those variances were in the Sunset Drainage District. When something like this occurs in the data, the regulatory requirement is usually out of line with the needs of the area. My office has consulted with FEMA directly on this matter and has developed the ordinance that sits before you now. This will reestablish the 92 map as the guiding map for the Sunset Drainage District. We have also added a new common sense standard for a minimum building elevation, which mandates that construction cannot occur below sea level, effectively a minimum standard of 0 in all scenarios. We appreciate your support on this important change. I know my staff, Marnie in particular, has worked or spoken to most of you to explain the importance of this change, and she's here to assist with any relevant questions on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. Item 2026-0271 is now open to public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Good afternoon. My name is L.J. Fricky. My given name is Lloyd Fricky. I'm here tonight to address this matter. Mr. Jewell, Madam Secretary, and all of you council people here tonight. Sunset Drainage District is a very unique situation, whereas this has been in existence since the early 1900s. A reclamation project, whereas people came and saw that this land, approximately over 10,000 acres, could be reclaimed for the from title to levy it and pump it, wherefore this ground could be used for agricultural purposes. I know of 5 reclamation projects that had been done within the general vicinity in the general area. Only one which survived has been Sunset Drainage District. Sunset Drainage District is a very, very blessed district to have all the thousands of acres owned by one oil company that is for ponding that, is not going to, we're not like other places on the other side of the river that don't have that great relationship we have with Mother Nature, that if it rains, we're going to collect the water. It's going to sit there till the district can collect the water and pump it out into another body of water. And by the way, the pump is thanks to whomever so fit to put the money into the improvements of Sunset Drainage District. I live there, and I personally thank you. It's made a great difference in this. So what happens with this, if I'm understanding correctly, is that we have to get an elevation certificate now, which costs $350. So then what has been happening is that you have established by your charter a zoning board of adjustment, whereas that the client could come to the zoning board of adjustment and request a variance, not to do the defirm, but to put back to the original 1 foot above the center line of the street. That's what happened a long time before the 2005 catastrophe. So this, from my understanding, is going to return us to that. We're not going to pay attention to the +8 and +7 or things like that. We're going to go back to the original way. And I think this, whoever legislated this, whoever thought about this legislation, I want to congratulate you. Because what happens is this, and I'll conclude with this. We are saving the average person a little money. You're still going to pay $350 for your elevation certificate. You come to file a zoning board of adjustment application, which is a little wordy, which most people cannot do it on their own. They're going to seek help to do that. And then you come and you pay $150. And maybe you might get, if you don't file on the exact day, you're going to be maybe put off 2 months before you can get a hearing. So we're drawing out time. We're spending money sometimes people don't really have. So this way it looks like we're cutting out to come by and apply for a variance of the elevation. So listen, do what you can.
Excuse me, Mr. Fricky.
I would trust that you all would support this.
Excuse me, Mr. Fricky. Your time's up. You need some additional.
I'm going to put a period right now.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to put a period on it right now.
Okay.
Period. Support it. Support it. Period.
Thank you very much.
Any questions for me, please? Come on, Mobley. You ain't got nothing to say? Come on, man. You live on the boulevard. You ought to know about elevation.
Oh, goodness, huh? Okay. Item 2026-0271, still open for public hearing. If there's anybody that'd like to come up and speak on this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, any council discussion? Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. And I want to say thanks to Marnie for her hard work on this. Michael, your hard work. I know we met a couple of times about this. I just want to say that I think this is the right thing to do. FEMA essentially asked us to do this because we weren't following our own adopted, maps or recognizing the newest maps. Unfortunately, this is not going to do anything to impact or lower anybody's flood insurance rates because the mapping division and the NFIP division really don't communicate anymore. So that is unfortunate, but for purposes of making sure that people can build their homes. And then I really think one of the most important, just as important as this other piece, is not allowing our residents to build below sea level. Because in many cases, we say 1 foot above center line of the street. Well, the street's elevation is at -3. So we're saying, okay, you can build to -2. We should not allow anybody anywhere in St. Charles Parish to build below sea level. And I would ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. Ms. Fonseca.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Michael, I remember, and I don't remember how long ago it was, but meeting with you and Marnie, y'all advised us that you were working on this because the current procedure process and allowing people to apply for those waivers could potentially impact our flood insurance rating, correct?
We want to avoid any potential issues.
Right. So I think that's probably the primary motivation for this instrument. Would that be correct? correct?
It's an important consideration.
It's an important consideration. But I also want to make sure that the public understands that an elevation certificate will still be required.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to clarify?
Just for that, this puts an end to the. It's on. I couldn't hear you very well either, actually.
Okay.
This puts an end to the variance option. We do not do flood elevation variances.
Okay.
So this with the DFIRM in this area being,
For the Sunset Drainage
Correct.
District area. Right. No more waivers. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fonseca. Mr. Carmodell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Michael and Marnie, for all the work. As you stated, Mr. LJ, we won't be a foot above the road. We will be zero. So our street, your street, unfortunately, we're a little bit low. But yeah, I mean, I've been to so many ZBAs with residents because of this same issue. You know, as Mr. Fricky addressed, you know, this was wetlands that was reclaimed over time, and this is probably the number one variance that comes through District 4 is elevation. So we, you know, we've seen a lot of it. Fortunately for Sunset Drainage, we do not see a lot of residential flooding. But I think this is the right thing to do to clear up the system, and us just doing a whole lot of work and paperwork and time and delays and a lot of stuff in our planning meetings, ZBA meetings, and council meetings, addressing something that can be addressed by just passing this legislation. So I appreciate the support, and people in my district appreciate the support.
Thank you, Mr. Carmodell. I attend the most every one of the Planning Commission meetings. I'm a ex officio member of that particular commission, and I spoke on this, and I am in favor of this. I also had some questions and some comments that I thought might have some further consideration in the code, not in this ordinance, because it stands as it is right now. And I've had some conversations both with Marnie and Michael Albert. But I'd like to open up the discussion going forward for some other areas of the code that I feel need to be addressed. And if you'll promise to do that, I'm certainly going to vote for this.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Anybody else want to have any council input? If not, please vote. 2026-0271. And that passes unanimously. Next, 2026-0272, an ordinance to approve and authorize execution of a cooperative endeavor agreement with St. Charles Parish Public Schools for use of certain property adjacent to Norco Elementary School. Mr. Palamone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is an easement agreement that we have with the Corps of Engineers that is going to expire in 2041. However, we've been doing quite a bit of maintenance on it. We were contemplating giving it back to the Corps, but in talking to the school system, they use this parking area for parking, for bus drop-off and bus pickup. So in talking to the Corps, instead of revising our agreement with them, they suggested that we just work out an agreement where the school system will pick up all the maintenance activities on this. And so that is the purpose of this CEA, and we ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Palamone. File number 2026-0272 is now open for public hearing. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is important, and we talked a lot about the easement, but it also came into fact when we did phase 1 of engineers canal bank stabilization. It'll also come into important when we continue to do the different phases for the rest of the stabilization. So again, it's a good thing, and like Mr. Palamone stated, giving it back to the parish, with the school board, we can still maintain some kind of control of it, and use these areas as a possible laydown area when we continue our project. So I would ask you to support it, please.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Ms. O'Daniels.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Palamone, who's going to be in charge of maintaining that area? I'm reading through
The school
this.
system.
School
That's
system. I'm just
the
double
CEA
checking.
between the parish and the school
Well,
system.
it's a
They
three-part.
pick up all the maintenance activities.
Okay. It's just a three-part CEA because we have an agreement with the Corps of Engineers, and with that, and then we're kind of working with the school wants to use it, so then we're all working together. So it's three parts, and I was just making sure who was in charge of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. O'Daniels. No further discussions on the council, from the council. Please cast your vote. And that passes unanimously. Persons to address the council. 2026-0282, Ms. Trinice Davis Boyd, regarding the Kindler and Paul Frederick roadway and drainage improvements, Phase 1. You have 5 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Trinice Davis Boyd, and I live at 704 Kindler Street. And I'm addressing the council about the property at 920 Kindler Street. I actually was an advocate for the Kindler and Paul Frederick drainage system, and I know how important it is because I live on the street. My only problem is I had a little discrepancy with the design for the sewage system that's placed on the property. I see where it can actually cause a liability also for myself and the parish, the way it is designed and the placement of the control panel, and for resale value. When I would build a new construction there, I wouldn't be able to get the resale value. So I actually proposed to Ms. Ford, the parish purchased the property at 620 Kindler Street, if they can actually buy my property out, which was originally discussed on doing the process of receiving the servitude. They purchased 620 from Mr. Zella, so if my property and his property is equivalent, so maybe they can purchase my property and I buy 620 Kindler Street. So I appreciate the council for the support and also allowing me to address the council in concerns of this matter.
Thank you, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you.
Resolutions. 2026-0264. A resolution to approve and authorize the execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the state of Louisiana and the CPRA, Coastal Protection Restoration Authority, and St. Charles Parish government regarding the construction of the Upper Barataria Risk Reduction Cousins Pump Station T-Wall. That's project BA-0280. That's a project that's in Luling. Ms. Chasson.
Hi, yes. So the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority has awarded $16.7 million to another phase of the West Bank Hurricane Protection Levee, or otherwise known as the Upper Barataria Risk Reduction. But the actual project is the Cousins T-Wall project. So the funding agreement requires a board resolution in support. This is probably the largest funding agreement for a single project that I have worked on to date, and but I can't take credit for that. I'll defer that to Parish President Jewell and Mr. Sam Scholl and Jessica Bodor from my staff. She put together the proposal. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. File number 2026-0264 is now open to public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussions? Mr. Jewell.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Carla, for putting the resolution together. I want to say thanks to Sam Scholl. Came to me and said, we want to get this project done. This is probably the last significant hard structure project that we will do on the Upper Barataria Risk Reduction System. We've had CPRA participation, I think, on every one. I think Ellington. I think we also had it on Kellogg. And then this one on, what's that? Magnolia Ridge. And then this one on Cousins. There's also another important component to this project besides the funnel protection on the pump station, which is going to be a large retention pond, basically the sump expansion on property that the parish owns, catty corner just adjacent to the pump station. That'll be about 5 acres or so of new sump that we will add to that pump station. That's going to be water that is currently in the street in those torrential rainstorms that will now be inside this sump and giving our cousin's pump station, which is a relatively large pump station, a chance to just catch up in these bad rainstorms. We really want to try to replicate what we have at Willowdale or Willow Ridge, and keep that going throughout the parish. So this is a big one, Sam. Just like Munt's pump station, I wish we would have asked for 20 million, but we got 16, and we're happy about that, and we're gonna keep trying to leverage more money on different projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jewell. If there are no other council discussion, please cast your vote for 2026-0264. And that one passes unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Chasson, and others, and Mr. Jewell, and Mr. Sam. Okay, 2026-0284, resolution approving and authorizing St. Charles Parish to submit a grant application to the United States Department of Agriculture's Rural Housing Service Fiscal Year FY 2026 Housing Preservation Grant Program. Ms. Chasson again.
Yes, so we are applying for another round of the USDA's Housing Preservation Grant Program. And if this application is selected for an award, these funds this funding will provide nearly $10,000 in home rehab funding for 12 low and very low income residents of St. Charles Parish. So currently we have a statement of activities that has been prepared and it's out for public review. It can be viewed in person at the Department of Community Services or on their webpage on the St. Charles Parish website. This gives all the details of our program, how the funds will be used, and how the homeowners will be selected. The comments regarding our statements of activities are being accepted until September the 4th. This board resolution is required for us to submit the application. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. Item 2026-0284 is now open for public comment. If there's anybody who'd like to come up and speak on this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussions? Seeing none, please cast your vote, 2026-0284. And that passes unanimously. Next, item 2026-0285, a resolution authorizing the St. Charles Parish President to send certification to GOSEP, waiving any land use regulations relative to permitting for temporary housing and shelter assistance during declared emergencies. Mr. Taste.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Chairman, Parish Council President Jewell. So this is the same thing we've done every year for the past, this will be the 4th year. And what it's saying is that if we have a disaster and they want to bring in, GOSEP wants to bring in emergency temporary housing, then we're going to waive all land use requirements or zoning ordinances that would disallow us from doing that. So GOSEP could come in and quickly put the trailers in, and that's going to only be for people who have room on their property adjacent to their home, and is able to do so. So I appreciate your support in redoing this for us again this year.
Thank you, Mr. Tasse. File number 2026-0285, now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak.
Milton Alamo Hornbill. Does this program have a sunset? I mean, what determines when it expires? Is it days, weeks, months, based on the amount of damage in the parish? I mean, it can't be open-ended. You can't just open up a trailer park for emergencies and declare that we need it there forever. But I've seen it in other parishes. I've seen it done in St. John Parish. They open a trailer park for emergency procedures. Trailer park's still there. Still there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alamo. Public hearing is still open for 2026-0285. If anybody'd like to come up, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Public hearing. No other. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote for 2026-0285. And that passes unanimously. Next item, 2026-0286, a resolution endorsing a waiver from Appendix C subdivision regulations in 1981, Section 3, geometric standards, C, lots, 1, size, B, width, as requested by Paul Hogan for PDJ Enterprises, LLC. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a minor subdivision that has a waiver request and approval from the Planning Commission. The waiver is related to frontage for Lot 9B3, as it does not have full frontage on a road and uses the private St. Gertrude Lane for access. The department has no objection to the waiver request, and the Planning Commission approved as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Albert. Item number 2026-0286 is now open for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Any council discussions? Mr. Carmadell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, so PDJ is trying to repurpose the abandoned St. Gertrude Catholic Church that the Archdiocese closed after Hurricane Ida. Originally, the dwelling on 9B3 was accessed from the Business District Road, front side of the church. However, now he's requesting this to allow access to the back. The landowner and property owner will also own the private road. But if we don't grant this, kind of landlocks the house. So I would appreciate your support on this.
Okay. If there's no other council discussions, please cast your vote for 2026-0286. And that passes unanimously. Item 2026-0287, a resolution in support of the Planning and Zoning Commission approval of 2026-7-SPU for an accessory dwelling unit in an R1A zoning district on Lot B, Square 4, Lakewood Park Subdivision, 20 Bernice Drive, Luling, as requested by Manuel and Antoinette Rodriguez. Mr. Albert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a request for an accessory dwelling unit. It meets all code requirements. The department and the commission both recommend approval. Thank you.
Okay. File number 2026-0287, now open for public comment. If there's anybody who'd like to come up and speak regarding this item, please do so now. Please state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Seeing none, please cast your vote for 2026-0287. And that one passes unanimously. Next, 2026-0288, a resolution in support of the in support of the Planning and Zoning Commission's approval of 2026-6-SPU for automobile fleet services in a C3 zoning district on Tract B of Tract 53 Coteau de France, 16825 Highway 90, Desalman, specifically waivers from Appendix A, Section 6, Zoning District Criteria and Regulations, Items C, 5, 4A, and Section 8. Site plan review and design requirements, item F2, as requested by William Sigmund for Sigmund Rental Properties, LLC. The administration has requested that the file 2026-0288 be tabled. I guess we don't have to do the public. I don't know. Here we go. File number 2026-0288, now open for public comment. Does anybody like to come up and speak regarding this item? Please do so now. Please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Seeing none, public comment is closed. Any council discussion? Mr. Jewell.
Chairman, I just wanted to give an opportunity for Mr. Albert to speak on this. Yeah, this is actually a paired application. There's a rezoning that was introduced on this agenda here, and the timing for submissions just didn't line up where the ordinance got introduced too late for the resolution to pair up with it. This can't be acted on until the rezoning is formally acted on. They're contingent upon one another.
Fair enough. Okay. So we got a motion to table, Ms. Fonseca, seconded by Mr. Fisher. Please cast your vote to table. And the motion to table passes unanimously. Next item, appointments. 2026-0207, a resolution appointing a member of the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control as the District 6 representatives. Council Chairman will accept nominations to the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control from the District 6 council member to fill a vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Miss Robin Robichaud, unexpired term to begin immediately and expire April 1st, 2027. This was deferred from the August 10th meeting at the Parish Council. So we need a nomination from the District 6 council member. Mr. Fisher.
Mr. Chairman, I am going to nominate Miss Erica Spangler.
Miss Erica, repeat that last name?
Spangler, Spengler.
You got that? Spangler? Miss Erica Spangler. A motion and a second is needed to close the nominations. Miss Wilson has moved and seconded Mr. Cardow. Please cast your vote. Yes. I'm looking at Miss Cardow. Okay, you want to correct that? Second would by Mr. Brouillet. How did that happen?
Locked up.
This is the electronic world. Cast your votes for that appointment, 2026-0207. Whew. And that passes unanimously. 2026-0246, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Communications District representing the St. Charles Parish Firemen's Association. A council chairman will accept nomination from the St. Charles Parish Firemen's Association to fill the vacancy caused by the resignation of the term of Mr. Johnny Bourgeois. Unexpired term to begin immediately and expire August 19th, 2029. This was also deferred from the August 10th, 2026 Parish Council meeting. And it says here the item will be deferred to the Monday, September 14th council meeting pending receipt of the required nomination. 2026-0228, a resolution appointing a member to the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control as a District 2 representative. Council Chairman will accept a nomination to the St. Charles Parish Library Board of Control from the District 2 council member to fill the vacancy caused by the expiration of the term of Miss Lindsay Toulier. 5-year term to begin immediately and expire August 1st, 2031. Ms. Skiba, do you have a nomination?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. I would like to nominate Miss Lindsay Toulier.
There you go. All right, Ms. Skiba has nominated Ms. Toulier, Ms. Lindsay Toulier. A motion and a second is needed to close the nominations. A motion by Willie Carmerdale, Mr. Carmerdale, and Ms. Fonseca seconded. Please cast your votes. Close the nominations. And that's a unanimous. Part everybody's been waiting for, to the end. Meetings, announcements, notices, etc. Meetings, Housing Authority, Tuesday, August 25th, 2026, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Hospital Service District Number 1, Wednesday, August 26, 2026, 2 p.m., Council Chambers. Lafourche Basin Levy District, Wednesday, September 2nd, 2026, 6 p.m., Lafourche Basin Levy District Office, 21380 Highway 20 in Vacherie. Planning and Zoning Commission, Thursday, September 3rd, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Coastal Zone Advisory Committee, Tuesday, September 8th, 12 p.m., Council Chambers. Community Action Advisory Board, Wednesday, September 9th, 5 p.m., Council Chambers. Communications District 911, Monday, September 14th, 5 p.m., 911 Center, and that's located on 222 Joe Louis Lane, Hanville. St. Charles Parish Council, Monday, September 14th, 6 p.m., Council Chambers. Announcements. Parish Holiday, Monday, September 7th, 2026, Labor Day. Please note there will be a 3-week lapse between council meetings. The next regular council meeting will be held on Monday, September 14th, 2026, Council Chambers, Courthouse. Board of Review. Parish Council will be sitting as a Board of Review September 16th through September 30th, 2026. The 2026 assessment list written or oral protest must be received by the Parish Council office by September 21st, 2026 at 4 p.m. Public hearings to consider the proposed 2027 capital and consolidated operating budget. Tuesday, October 20th, 2026, 9 a.m. Thursday, October 22nd, 2026, 1 p.m. Monday, October 26th, 2026, 6 p.m. Adjournment. A motion and a second are needed to adjourn. We have a motion by Mr. Brouillet and a second by Ms. O'Daniels. Please cast your vote. All right, we are formally adjourned. Have a great evening.